Welcome back, warriors. I know. It's been quite some time since my last video, and I do want to apologize for that because I know some people were asking me what's happening, is Warrior Woman still exist? And yes, it does still exist. It's just that for many reasons I was unable to post, but I'm back, and that is all that matters. So the last time I posted a video, I actually spoke about gender-based violence, and I shared that the next video was going to be about gender-based violence survivor, and I also mentioned it was going to be my family's gender-based violence survival story. So today I want to actually share that story with you, and actually one incident that I can say changed our lives, but also like how we were really affected by gender-based violence. And I'm sharing this also because sometimes you think gender-based violence is just happening out there. It's not happening here to people that you know. It's not real, or it's just stories that you hear in the newspaper or on the news, but no, it's actually real. Let's get started. So in 2016, my mother was shot, and this was something that I think traumatized us to the point that I think all of us, my brother, my mother, myself, we really didn't see a way forward or see a way that we were gonna get through it. And so what happened was she was shot on Mother's Day in 2016, and the bullet had entered her neck around about here and exited at the back, and it left about, I think it was 4 scars or wounds in total. And what happened was God actually saved her life by 2 centimeters, because the doctor explained that if the bullet had entered 2 centimeters like to the left, then she would have either been paralyzed or she would have died. And it was something that alone we give God all the glory for, and even for bringing us through like a long time of being like my mommy being a victim of gender-based violence and us witnessing it. And like my brother was in grade 4 at the time when this shooting happened, and I was in my first year of study, and we actually witnessed like how she was bleeding, like the blood was like running. It was very hectic. I couldn't even do anything because I was so freaked out. I mean, for me, when I hear that someone was shot, I just think the person is dying. Death is the only thing that comes to my mind when I think of like a shooting incident. And when she was screaming and saying she was shot and explaining, like she was actually trying to explain to us a bit so that we could actually like have details, but I lost it. Like it was really intense. And if I look back to that, I really can't believe that we actually got through it. But again, God gets all the glory, because without him we would not have been able to. And for a long time after the shooting, I think it was like 2 years, the police couldn't find the person who did it. Even though we knew who was responsible for it, the person was just missing in action. And even though the person was still threatening us, still contacting us, they couldn't trace the call. It was so bad, because I mean the person still was almost like watching us from a distance, knowing where we were. And yeah, we had to look over our shoulder constantly. We couldn't freely walk in the road, go anywhere without that fear of what if this person comes and hurts us, what if the person comes and actually kills my mother. And this is why I have this deep passion and kind of understanding for people that experience gender-based violence, and like just like the whole, some people don't understand why I feel like this, but now that I've shared the story, I think it's more clear that like truly being impacted by gender-based violence on this level makes you more aware of the fact that people are really going through real things, and people are really being affected by this violence thing. It's not just to people like that, like I said, out there. It happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't even see it coming. And like for me, witnessing that was so bad, and I can't imagine how hard it must have been for my mother, because she's the one that had to endure that. She's the one that experienced all of that pain, and that having to run with us and hide with us and protect us, even though she was in that state that she was in. And I know that many families don't have a story like this, because so many women get killed in our country and across the world as a result of gender-based violence. And I really pray that the gender-based violence will start to decline and even stop, and that women and children will begin to feel safe around their loved ones, and that father figures will be father figures, and that fathers will step up and actually play that role of being a father, and not being the one to hurt the family, to destroy the family, to bring division in the family, and to cause fear among children and women. So yeah, and I also wanted to share that, obviously it was not a nice experience for us, and overcoming it took a long time. And even though the person responsible for it is serving jail time, it didn't make it much easier, because it was still something that we had to come to terms with. There's the whole forgiveness part of it. There's like, just now that I can, like, the healing process takes long, and now I can tell the story without getting emotional. I can tell the story without crying, whereas previously every single time I had to talk about it, I couldn't get to the end of the story. I was just stuck on, I can't believe this happened, why did this happen, how could this happen? And actually that year when it happened, I was in my first year, like I mentioned earlier, and I took 3 months off from campus. I had permission, and I wrote supplementary exams, and I actually felt like I didn't want to go back, because I felt like, how am I supposed to focus on academics after dealing with this whole thing? And the person was still not arrested at the time, so our lives were like at risk. It was so bad. People couldn't know where we were living. We couldn't interact with people. It was not nice. So it wasn't just as easy as going back. And I actually decided eventually, that I have to put this thing aside, and I have to still pursue my dreams. And if I look back now, I really see that again, God has been keeping his hand over me and helping me, because based on my first year's results, I was awarded a bursary for the following year. So I hope that even encourages you, that no matter what situation you are in today, that you will be able to overcome it, and that you will get through it, even though right now it doesn't seem like that. So I really hope that you continue to raise awareness for those being affected by gender-based violence, and that my story will touch people, or my family story will touch you to empower women and children, and to encourage you just in general to pursue your dreams and keep on trusting God, relying on God, putting your full trust in the Lord, that he will see you through no matter what you're faced with. So that wraps up my gender-based violence that I wanted to cover about gender-based violence in the videos, and I really pray that it has touched you in some way. So I hope that you will like and share and comment, and that you will share this message and this video with other people that need to hear it. And Until next week, warriors, remember to keep on winning and keep on being warriors.